What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over the top 5 things to know before starting an Airbnb. In 2024, with high interest rates and high real estate prices, it could not be more important to know what you're getting into before you're jumping into Airbnb and what you're going to need to know to make sure you are successful in this competitive market. Oh, by the way, make sure you stick around till the end for the number 6 bonus tip. With that being said, guys, let's jump right in. For number 1, guys, we're going to talk about needing to know your numbers. So whenever you get into an Airbnb, you need to know your market and your numbers. So whenever you find a place that you're interested in buying an Airbnb, make sure you know your numbers well. Otherwise, you can get crushed and you can get kicked out of that market and or lose money in that market where you are going to need to sell your property and move on to something else. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how I do my numbers, and if you want a more detailed video on how I run my analysis, please comment below and let me know. But anyways, some basic nuts and bolts of numbers are I allocate 50% to expenses. Some of the biggest expenses that people overlook are your cleaning, your linen replacement, and your supplies. So I allocate 50% to all of that. And then I allocate another 30% to my mortgage. And then 20% hopefully will be left over for profit. Tip number 2 is make sure you understand you are jumping into the hospitality industry. This is not the real estate industry. So I have many years experience in real estate, and I thought when I first jumped into Airbnb that it would be an easy transition right over into Airbnbs because you feel like it's real estate related. This, although there is real estate involved, you are in the hospitality industry. You need to cater to your guests. You need to put yourself in your guests' shoes whenever you're setting up your property, whenever you're messaging your guests, whatever it may be. You need to make sure you are catering to your guests to make sure they have a great experience. And this is not passive income. This is very active income. Tip number 3 is that Airbnb highly values uniqueness. So over the past couple of years, they've changed their app. They've added all sorts of different categories, including the Oh My God or OMG category, the tiny home category, the treehouse category, the beachfront category, the mansion category. And regardless, Airbnb values very unique properties. So make sure whenever you buy your properties, you have that in mind. And when you are setting up your properties, you keep that in mind that Airbnb highly values uniqueness. If you do this, it'll help you jump to the top of the rankings of Airbnb. You will get more clicks and more bookings, and you will make more money. Tip number 4 is make sure you understand it is going to take a ton of time to set up your Airbnb properly. As an experienced host, I allocate at least 48 hours to setting up my properties.
No.
And as a new host, it's most likely going to take longer than that. So the way that time really breaks down is 1, you're going to have to actually set up your listing. To set up your listing properly and make sure you have the proper messages in place and the proper check-in procedures in place and the proper house rules and so on and so forth, that takes me about 20 to 40 hours. And then the second thing is actually going to the property, making sure everything is in place the way I want it to be, making sure all the decor is set up, making sure all the instructions and other things are set up for my cleaners, making sure my cleaner's closet is set up, and so on and so forth. That takes about another 20 to 40 hours as well. And tip number 5 is make sure you get an amazing cleaner. This is one of the most important parts of an Airbnb. An amazing cleaner can help make your life 10 times easier, help keep your reviews up, and is one of the most important components about launching your Airbnb. You want a good cleaner who's going to make sure your place is obviously spotless, so you obviously get great reviews from your guests. But additionally, make sure your cleaner is good at communicating and you have clear instructions on what you expect from your cleaner. I have such good relationships with a lot of my cleaners then not only will they do cleaning for me, they notify me when things are missing, things are broken, so I get to submit claims to air cover to get those things replaced. They also do small repairs for me or point me in the direction of the right repairman whenever repair is needed. This has saved me multiple times where I potentially could have lost out on a guest staying there because I would have had to tell them they couldn't stay at the property, but they pointed me in the right direction, got me a repairman very quickly, or did the repair themselves, and saved me a ton of time and energy. So make sure you interview a bunch of cleaners and find a cleaner that's not necessarily the cheapest, but the best for your property, not only keeping it clean, but being able to work with you to be your eyes and ears. Quick bonus tip number 6 is make friends with your neighbors. There's a lot of things going on right now in the Airbnb industry, and there's a lot of towns and cities and municipalities who are trying to shut down Airbnbs. You want to make sure you have a great relationship with your neighbors. I usually give all my neighbors my cell phone number, let them know what I'm doing, tell them to contact me if there's any issues, and this way you can avoid people complaining to the town about you. Additionally, your neighbors could be great eyes and ears for you to let you know what's going on at your property to make sure no one's there having parties or causing damage to it. All right, guys, so that is the top 5 things you need to know to start your Airbnb, plus that little bonus tip about your neighbors. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comments below.